Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you're returning. It's Fiery Moon and I'm here to do the general collective full moon reading. This is for the full moon in Leo, which took place yesterday on February 1st. It was at about 13 degrees. Right now it is February 2nd as I'm recording this. But we still have the sun in Aquarius and the moon in Leo. I believe I said it in the last video, to see where this energy, may be playing out for you. Check your natal chart and see what house you have Leo in. But also I would check your opposite house, which would be where Aquarius sits, because this full moon is opposing the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Pluto. Like I always say, just take what resonates and leave the rest. Know that time as well as the energy is fluid, and the energy can be vice versa or interchangeable. Time as well as the energy is fluid. And if it's not your story, don't try to make it fit. We're going to be starting out with the Black Moon astrology deck. I also have out the Spellcasting Oracle. And then we'll be using the Wild Unknown tarot deck for this reading. So with that being said, what messages of guidance, healing, truth, love, wisdom, acceptance, understanding, as well as protection do you need as it pertains to the collective and the energy surrounding this full moon in Leo? Leo is fixed fire, it's fifth house energy. It deals with, creativity, expression. It represents the heart. It's ruled by the sun. It's a very, if you think of the sun card in tarot, it has a, baby on it. It's a very, or it can be a very childlike energy. Very, playful, creative, heart-centered, fiery energy. But it could also be very stubborn, very egotistical, very childish. Yeah, depending on, how you choose to harness that energy. But I'm going to just get a few more and then we're going to jump right on in. There is a grand fire trine going on right now between the moon, Lilith, Neptune, and probably Saturn as well, because it's at late degrees of Pisces, soon to, fully be in Aries. But let's see, Spirit. Can I get one more? I woke up this morning with hearing Michael Jackson's Billie Jean song, and if I'm not mistaken, I want to say, I know Michael Jackson is a Leo. I mean, he's a Virgo, but he's an August Virgo. And I just want to see. Yeah, he's a Virgo with a Pisces moon. And I said yesterday, like, the opposite energies are, or at least had popped up in the weekly reading as being significant. And Virgo and Pisces are, the opposites of each other. Um, so that's just like further confirmation to check your opposite house in regards to this full moon. But yeah, the song Billie Jean, it's the song, and I don't know, like, take this as a resonate, because it's not gonna be for everybody, and y'all know I don't ever give messages like this lightly. But it's a song about, or it's a story rather, about a woman who claims that a man is the father of her son, but he denies it. So I don't know if you could be on either side of that. It could just be a song that you like, but we all know how the song goes. So let's jump right on that. I don't know. It felt right to keep shuffling, so that's why I'm still shuffling. But I'll do one more and then we'll jump right on that. Alright. But the song is also like, it refers to, or I at least say it connects to Michael Jackson reflecting on his experiences dealing with like groupies and the potential consequences of one night stands. So I don't know, y'all, but that came through this morning. But anyway, bottom of the deck, we have Mercury, the mind. Right now, Mercury is in Aquarius. And this is just like almost in a way reiterating to me like the power of the mind. How like sometimes it could be your greatest asset, or your mind can defeat you if you let it. So I feel like whether this is you or someone you're connected to, there's a lot of mental energy going on for you right now. Some of you are thinking about things in ways you've never thought about them before. Up under that, yeah, we have the Grand Trine, blessings energy, which I just said we have a Grand Fire Trine going on right now. Up under that, we have Pisces, I believe. And then we have Scorpio, I transform. With Pluto. I transform. And I was just getting ready to say, I feel like a water trine right now, because we have Jupiter, like just with this energy. Abundance, with Jupiter being in Cancer, there's almost like water trine energy here that I'm feeling between Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. But it makes me feel like, Jupiter is like it represents the wheel of fortune in traditional tarot, but it's, it's growth, it's expansion. And I feel like whoever's in this energy, their way of thinking is changing. It could even be like their belief systems, where it's almost like they're allowing themselves to, almost in a way, like be open minded, or at least this is what the cards are saying. With the mind and the grand trine energy here, like for some of you, you need to use your, water energy, because we all have all signs within our chart. You need to use the water energy with Pisces, I believe. Scorpio, I transform, and then Jupiter here, which I'm seeing as right now, it's in Cancer, which is I feel. And now they're giving me The Way You Make Me Feel by Michael Jackson. Some of you need to, in a way, like, or at least I'll say the opportunity with the grand trine here is to, like, really, like I already said, like expand your mind in a way of, possibly a belief system, what you need to change, and that which you want, like the direction you want to grow. Because with Pluto here, like I said, with this full moon, it's opposing Mercury and Pluto along with the Sun, Mars, and Venus. But, the opposite energy, it's opposing. So it almost makes me feel like some of you are needing to look at things from a different perspective. Because then here we have the fifth house energy, which says, creativity, like I said, like, because it will, if, the expanding your mind, it opens you up to, like new things. It gives you new ideas, new ways of going about stuff and doing things, like, and it feels like it would be very beneficial to, for one, who you are, allowing your natural expression to come through with this fifth house of creativity. But also it would be like almost with the fourth house energy, roots, which is actually, the fourth house is ruled by Cancer. It would, actually help you to maintain some grounding. And and then we have the moon. Like, this would be for soul growth with the fourth house roots and the moon. So it would be for, your soul's growth. So let's see what comes out. What's going on, Spirit? What do we need to know for the collective as it pertains to this full moon in Leo? Yeah, so we have Saturn return, which is age, or says age. And then we have, Pluto with transformation. Now Saturn, like I said, I believe it is still at the late degrees of Pisces. I know Neptune moved into Aries already, but let me see. Yeah, Saturn is at 28 degrees of Pisces, which, Pisces, that I believe energy in the Aries I am, with Saturn going through that transition. This, for some of you, if you're experiencing the Saturn return right now, it will be very transformative for you. But, Saturn deals with, structure, stability. It's ruled by Capricorn, and it's it deals with our reality. So it's like, in a way, making, your dreams, that Pisces energy, your dreams. Because Pisces deals with creativity too, and your imagination. And it's almost like, how can you make that real. Whatever, those dreams or aspirations or imaginations that, you want to see materialize. Can I get another one, please, Spirit, as it pertains to this full moon in Leo for the collective? And if you're having a Saturn return, that means you were born with Saturn being, in the sign that it is right now. And then up under that, we have, or coming out after that, we have the South Node, which is life's debts, which is where Virgo is right now. The South Node is in Virgo. And then we have, bottom of the deck, the 7th house partnership. So this is, how you, and it doesn't matter what type of partnerships, but it's almost like with this Saturn return and South Nodes, like for some of you had a way of doing, possible, relationships, or how can I say this, would assert yourself within relationships, or how you've been with the South Node here. And it's almost like that's the way that you were doing relationships, partnerships is kind of like it's fizzling out. So whatever or however you were doing them, it's almost like with this Saturn return, you're realizing that you're like and I hate to say it like this, but almost like there's a new way to relate and partner with people. Like, because it almost makes me feel like for some of you, the way that you were doing it could have even been like in a people pleasing type of way, like dealing with people, like trying to like see what they like and then like almost act like that, because that's that Virgo energy, like being a little over analytical, being a little too detail oriented, or wanting things a specific way, and not allowing yourself that opposite energy of Pisces to, in a way, almost think outside the box. How do you believe relationships are supposed to be done? Because some of you, you could have been, dealing with relationships in a way that you were told, for some of you, as a way, like whether that was from family, society, whatever the case may be. But now, especially if you're going through this Saturn return, and we have the Gemini, I think, and then we have the Aquarius energy, I know, yeah. So it's like, as far as, relationships go for you, or like I said, whoever this is for, it was almost like, I think this is how it's supposed to be done. I think this is how it's, I was supposed to be doing it, but it's almost like at a deeper level, that whatever way you were doing them wasn't, it was kind of like almost outdated. It was an old way of doing things. So now with this energy here, with the mind showing up again with Mercury in the 12th house, yeah, it's like you're allowing yourself to like dream a little bigger, to even have a dream or aspiration when it comes to like the type of relationships you want, the type of friends you want, the type of people you want to be around. Because this almost feels like a little, like with the Gemini, I think like I feel like a little plotty. Like for some of you, you could have been, going in relationships with like a hidden agenda or an ulterior motive, or you've dealt with people like this. But it's like now, with this Aquarius energy, you know, like I almost want to say, like, it wasn't right, whether you were the one doing it or you were the one receiving it. So it could go either way. see, where are we at? 20? Let's see. What's going on, Spirit? As it pertains to this energy and spread for the collective, as it pertains to this full moon in Leo. What's going on? And you could have, maybe you have a Leo first house, or seventh house, or an Aquarius first house, and a Leo seventh house. So, but it's that, that counterpart code. What's the word I want to use? Oh my God, it just left my mind. But yeah, it's like it's that counterpart, opposite energy, complementary. That's what I meant to say. Well, yeah, let's see what's going on. And it's even showing up here again, like Saturn and the South Node. Like I said, Saturn is at the late 28 degrees of Pisces. The South Node is in Virgo. And it's almost like you're looking back at the way that you were doing things, and almost in a way like how it was adding up to your current reality. So, bottom of the deck, we have Courage, which is like the Strength card in this deck, which is Leo energy, that fixed fire. And it's like, it's making me feel like some of you, you have, like, even if you don't think that you can, like, you can, like, the way that it's making me feel is like you can have whatever it is that you want, especially with the Courage and the Family card. Some of you, there's a desire to have, a family unit. Like, that's what you want. Like, you want it. Like, I can feel it off of this person. Like, and the desire for it is so strong with the Passion card here. Like, not for nothing, it's almost making me emotional of how bad somebody wants this. And for some of you, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, like, it's like, it's part of your, your soul's blueprint in a way with the life's purpose card here. But it's almost like the energy of, like, this person could want this so bad that they're just trying to, make it or create it in any way that they can. And that's kind of like the wrong way to go about it. Because one thing that I learned as a parent is that, and I'm someone that, I wanted a big family. Like, I that was something that I wanted, like, or at least I felt like it was something that I could handle. But it only turns out like I have one child right now. But as a parent, what being a parent showed me was that it is the most selfless act that one can perform. Because to become a parent, it's almost like you really have to be willing to give up, in a way, like, give up the things, whatever it is that you want. You have to be willing to make almost like a self-sacrifice to be a parent and the best way you can. Now, I'm not saying that there are some people that are afforded to where they don't have to or don't feel that. But I know from my experience, that's what I learned. Like, you cannot be selfish because I've seen it. Like, and although, like, I didn't experience this, I've seen how, like, some parents could become jealous of their children, and, like, it can get real crazy for no reason. But that's because, at least the way that I see it, those parents weren't willing to give that a part of themselves up that I feel is almost required to be a parent. Like, you can't be selfish. You can't only think of yourself. I tell people all the time, like, I never thought about, the things I would do, the places I would go, the people I would interact with, the shit down to, the clothes that I wear. When I became a parent, I had to, in a way, like, step outside of myself, because at the end of the day, I'm a representation. My daughter's not just a representation of me, I'm a representation of her as well. And there was just certain things that I knew I wouldn't be able to do anymore. And for me, I was okay with it, like, because nothing trumps me being a mom. But it made me, like, realize it. I had to experience that to see it. And I'm glad, like, to an extent, like, I was, I had the awareness of that. Like, yeah, so there's a lot of places that I'm not going. There's a lot of people that I won't be around, a lot of places that I won't be, and a lot of things that I won't even wear. Cause it's, for me, it is that deep. Like, out of respect for being a mother, and that reflects on me as well as my daughter. So it's almost like whoever's in this energy, like, they want it badly. I can feel it. And it is something that you're supposed to have, at least I feel like, with this life purpose card. But you gotta get to the point of making sure that, with the finding here, that you're secure and solidified in yourself. Because, a lot of people are not made to be parents. And like, sometimes some of the best parents come from, some of the worst, parents, or the worst circumstances. And that's not, for all people, because I'm not saying, like, that's the only way you could be a good parent, because it's not. But, like, one thing I can say and I will say is this. Like, my parents, from what they've told me, because I wasn't there during their upbringing, from what they told me, like, they had a hard life. They didn't have the best upbringing, especially back in, those times. But it also, I don't know, as I've grown and as I, continue to get older, like, I see it in a way where, like, I understand. So, and my parents raising me, how it impacted me as a parent when I became a parent was that, like, it started, like, I started seeing, like, okay, so what they were doing for me was because, like, at the end of the day, they really didn't know. There was no blueprint. They were young and trying to live their lives as well. But it also showed me, like, the intention was pure, but the way that they went about it was wrong. And I'm grateful that I was able to, talk to my parents and to, convey that to them, because that in turn helped me see, like, where or how I didn't want to, raise my daughter, or, take certain things from how I was raised and, instill them in her. I had to basically create my own way in being a parent. And I'm not saying that the way that I'm doing it is right or wrong either, but I'm doing what feels right to me as a, as a person, and also what I feel is, right and necessary for my daughter. And that's not, up for grabs for my parents to say, like, well, I didn't do that with you, or I did this with you. No, that's not for you to say. I don't care what not in a rude way, but there was certain things that y'all did that wasn't okay. And there were some things that y'all did immaculately. I'm not taking that away from y'all at all. But this is the way that I'm going to do it for mine. Yeah. We have the passion coming out, which is like the Ace of Swords. So like I said, that desire to, almost do something different is there for you or this person, or whoever this is resonating for. And to almost do away with, things that you like, whether it's a way of thinking, a way of being, a way of doing things. You want to do away with that. And then we have the reconciliation card coming out. And this is almost like, for some of you, this desire could be to like get back to yourself with the reconciliation. Or it could be, the desire to do things different than you did them in the past with another person. Because right now with this boundaries card, like, it almost makes me feel like whoever's in this energy like feels very like shut out. Can I get one more, Spirit? Like they're not able to connect. And then we have like these cards just keep coming out, and now we have the life's purpose card coming out. Yeah, it's almost like this is an energy of like needing to get back to the basics of you. With that life's purpose cards, yeah. And then that way, when you do that, you'll start aligning and having those partnerships and connections that you desire. But as long as you're like in this energy of disconnect, or not willing to, budge or be open to change, you're going to like stay in the South Node energy of, just basically it almost feels like complacency. But let's see what comes out. What messages of guidance, healing, truth, love, wisdom, acceptance, understanding, as well as protection do we need as it pertains to this collective and the energy surrounding this full moon in Leo. Can I get one more? And I'm hearing a heart to heart. Bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Cups. And that's, I heard that when I seen it, the Two of Cups. So I don't know, this could be a heart-to-heart conversation. This could be like, if this is all one person, it's like almost like this full moon is pushing them into, because Leo rules the heart, is pushing them into like their heart, to where they're having like an internal heart-to-heart with themselves. But it could be with another person with the Two of Cups. Then we have a Queen of Swords, which is feminine air energy. Then up under that, we have the Hierophant. And then we have the Page of Cups, or Is this? No, this is the Knight of Cups. And then the Queen of Wands, the Mother of Wands with the Ace of Pentacles. I feel like for some of you, if you're a feminine energy, I feel like someone is like almost going over a connection that they've had with you, because what I'm hearing is fine tooth comb. Like someone is going over a connection with you or that they have with you. And it's almost like you being in this Queen of Swords energy, you're like, my guides are saying like you're standing on business. It's almost like you like are in like your own, and I'm not saying that like you're in your own mind, but you have a mind of your own is what I'll say. So where like whoever this energy is, because I felt it up here where they could be used to doing relationships a certain way, or how their family taught them, or how society taught them. You are someone who like with the Hierophant, because that can represent tradition, values, society, societal standards or norms or whatever the case may be. You're like, that doesn't affect you. Like you haven't let that affect you. Like it's almost like you drowned out that noise. Like, oh, I have to do it this way. Like I even just said it. Like I went through it, and it's almost like with you being in this energy, it has a masculine energy here, wanting to like almost be open to that as well, with the Knight of Cups, to like allow in some vulnerability, because there's a high attraction for one with the Queen of Wands, but also it's like this person, if this is a masculine energy that's in that desire of wanting to have a family or wanting to create that dynamic, they see it as, or see you as the person that they would want to you know plant the seed with. But it's almost like you're like, I almost want to say like you're not a fool. You're not just gonna do it just because. Like, because it's almost like I'm getting like the energy of like that. Like your eggs are sacred. Like, I don't know what else to say. I don't even know why this is coming up like this. And it's almost like the caution of being vulnerable for this masculine comes from what they've learned, possibly what they've been taught. And it's like, it's almost like they tried to like force that on you. And it's like, no, like you like, I ain't hearing none of that. Can I get one for the Saturn return and the South Node? Why is the Saturn return and the South Node here? Yeah. We have the Four of Swords. Yeah, so this is like almost someone being, or, you know, like taking a time out to sort things through. But also, like with the sun here on this lamb, it's like there being a lamb. You know, the lamb represents an energy of sacrifice. And that's what I said in regards to, you know, one thing that you have to do, especially with, you know, wanting to become a parent. It's almost like with this Four of Swords here, like there's this person is, you know, realizing that there's a lot of things that they need to put to bed. It's becoming like very apparent to them. And then the bottom of the deck we have the Ace of Cups, followed by the King of Wands and the Six of Pentacles. And this is that masculine energy where it's almost like for some of them, they look at love or just the connection or emotional landscape through like in a one-sided way, in a way that it's like almost, well, what can I, you know, get out of it for me? But and being in that energy, it leaves them unfulfilled with the Eight of Cups and like on the outside of things, like separate from things. Can I get one for this passion, reconciliation, and life's purpose? Where are we at? Yeah, see? Then we have the Three of Pentacles with the Empress. And then we have the Death card at the bottom. So this is like, this energy is making me feel like whoever is in this energy, this masculine, they're wanting to like work and collaborate with a feminine energy, an Empress. But there's, you know, change that's needed. Like there's a lot of things that, like I said before, like need to be put to bed. I don't know if it's the way that this person thinks with this Four of Swords, because, you know, swords, but you know, the first card we started out with was the mind. And the Empress is definitely someone, you know, she's looked at as the mother and, you know, the physical sense of the zodiac. But I was just clarifying the Four of Swords, and we have the Hangman where, yeah, like this energy is just like they're in a pause mode. And this is representing that Saturn energy in Pisces. The Hangman is Pisces energy. And it's almost like this person is becoming aware to maybe even like a thinking pattern that has been keeping them held up, keeping them feeling like, you know, everything is so hard, or they gotta, you know, with the Nine of Wands, like, but it's almost like Spirit is trying to get them to see, like almost in a way, like what they've been through wasn't like in a bad way, like, because that's how I feel. I feel like this person is looking at it as in a bad way. Can I get one more for this Four of Swords and the Hangman? Like, yeah, you've been through it. You didn't have an easy life, you know, for some of you. But it's almost like with the Two of Swords, like they're having a hard time seeing past that. like what they've been through. And it almost, made them this king of cups here. And mixed with the tower, it's almost like they put love in the back seat, or, feelings in the back seat. Can I get one more, please? But it's their own way of thinking. We have the 10 of swords here. From the 10 to the 2 is the 8. This is something that they did to themselves with the way that they think about stuff. Because then with the 3 of cups at the bottom, that makes me feel like for some of them, it's like a, how can I say this? Yeah, like the only way I can say it is like, it's their own mentality or the way that they're thinking about something between this 10 and the 2, which is the 8 of swords. And then from the 4 to the 10 is the 6 of swords. Like, that's, that forward movement is going from chaos to calm. They're struggling with getting from the 6 to the 8, or between the 6 and the 8. And, having those connections that are reciprocal and, fulfilling, and, like almost being on the same page with someone. Their connections suffer because of that. And if they're dealing with a feminine energy, it's like, wanting, to deal with someone at this, on an emotional level who has it for themselves. That feminine energy is like this is not acceptable. Can I get one for the 3 of Pentacles and the Empress? Yeah, look, and this here we have it, the 6 of Swords. So this is where this person wants to go, where they're trying to get to. That realization of it. But like I said, it's almost like you gotta be whole within yourself. Because for one, a Queen of Cups, they're not gonna accept anything less than that. Not someone who doesn't, carry the emotional intelligence, almost, it feels like, to do that. Can I get another one for this 3 of Pentacles and the Emperor? Look, you have to be that King of Cups, or if a Queen of Cups is what you want. And with the Page of Swords at the bottom, you know that. So it's almost like this person, like, not for nothing, with this Page of Swords is like trying to figure out, how can I be the King of Cups to have the 10 of Cups? And can I get one for this life's purpose? I feel like that wanted to be clarified on its own. The life purpose. We have the Page of Swords coming out again. And yeah, and this person could be even trying to figure out, like, is this what my life's purpose is supposed to be? For some of you, that answer is yes. But it's going to require you to get your ducks in a row. With the 7 of Pentacles. Can I get one more for this life's purpose and this Page of Swords? Yeah. And then we have the 3 of Swords, which is, pain, heartbreak, separation. And not for nothing, some of these, masculine energies could feel that they're supposed to feel like their life is, like, their life's purpose is just to, walk around and endure pain. But that's not true. You're holding on to that with the 10 of Wands via the 9 of Wands because of what you've been through. But with the Seven of Wands, it's showing you like, no, like this, what you've been through actually should like it sets you apart so that you can be that light for others. Like, so it may feel like that way. I'm not saying that it doesn't feel that way, but the intention behind why you're going through what you're going through is so that you can be that torch for others and show them like, yo, I went through this. I had a, if you possibly came from a fucked up family, excuse me, or I didn't have this, but look what I created. That's what, like, the energy that I'm feeling. Look what I was able to do with it, though. Tell me about this Three of Swords, and then we'll grab the guidance and advice. Yeah, it's time to let that go. Oh, I love it. Oh my God, Spirit. And then look. I can't make this shit up, y'all. Once this person overcomes that and lets it go, look what's on the other side. From darkness to light. Like, I love this. I love it. And in it, it shines a light on the things that were keeping you stuck, keeping you, possibly in toxic situations. It shines a light on the devil. But in doing so, you come out even stronger on the other side with the Chariot. I love this. I love it. There's nothing like the Sun card showing up in a Leo full moon reading. Nothing like it. So let's grab the guidance and advice because I'm leaving it right there. What's the guidance and advice, Spirit? What time is it? I gotta go soon. What's the guidance and advice? What's the guidance and advice? Too many. The guidance and advice. We have the 7th house partners card, and then look with the Cancer. I feel you can't make this shit up. That's that, that's that Cancer energy that showed up with that Chariot energy. Can I get oh, I guess so. Hold on now. And like I said, that's how, like, I feel like I don't even need to read this because I'm sure we've read it before, but we're gonna read it, and then that'll be the reading. So it says, the 7th house partners, it says, marriage is neither heaven nor hell. It is simply purgatory. That's a quote by Abraham Lincoln. It says, bindings, whether emotional and domestic or lawful, and what is right and permissible are indicated now. The 7th house is the area of the chart that represents the other, since it is opposed to the 1st house, the self. Traditionally, it has been taught to be the house of marriage and marriage partnerships, and although this may still be the primary meaning, the other could also include friends and family and peer groups. So it can mean significant others such as co-workers. Since it's the traditional house of Libra, it governs fairness, balance, and the law. It is also the house of open enemies. When the 7th house card presents itself in a reading, it usually means one of two things: either issues dealing with a partner or significant others, or court cases and legal issues. This card itself is neutral, much like the actual 7th house, which strives for balance, so the surrounding cards will indicate the basic meaning, whether positive or negative or something in between. The Pisces or Neptune cards nearby could imply that a relationship could be slowly dissolving or fading, much like a shoreline with the sea erasing names in the written sand. Misinformation or lying could be a part of it. If this card is referring to a court case or legal issue, it's not a good time for that. The end result may not be what is hoped for or is one that may drag on, again, ending over time in a dissolving way with no real closure. The Scorpio or Pluto cards close by the seventh house would indicate power struggles, and evil ruthlessness would figure in. There could be issues of domination and control with these two cards. This could apply to partnerships and legal rulings. The Venus or Libra cards nearby would sweeten this up a great deal. So, also along with the Sun card would be the most positive to have with this card. The Uranus or Aquarius cards close to this card could indicate dispassionate or odd partners, maybe even bisexual lovers or those from an entirely different background. Or a court case could get disrupted and have an unusual or totally unexpected result. The Taurus or Cancer card surrounding the card would indicate a full heart blessing in your romantic or domestic partnerships. It could also denote coming out well in a financial or at least a material way in a court case. On a mundane level, the seventh house card can mean an engagement, a marriage, or a relationship moving to the next level. As in partnership becoming more settled, as in a partnership becoming more settled and gaining maturity. It can also imply getting ready for a more serious relationship. In this case of dysfunctional and unhealthy relationships, you can look to the surrounding cards to see if they will fare in the near future. And it says the corresponding tarot card for this card is Justice, and the key ideas are marriage, partners, true love, the other person, rivals, open enemies, courts, and lawsuits. So, it's clear the Cancer card is out here as it pertains to this. What tarot card did we get? Ooh, the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, this person could be needing to take something slow, like in a way, because like I almost feel like slow down, because this person wants this so bad, like it almost feels like they're not even allowing themselves to feel it through, like to feel if it's right to. And that's not to say like whatever is gonna happen is gonna happen, but if it's not happening, it's almost because like you want it too bad. And you need to slow down, because it's almost like the way that you're going about getting it, you're not gonna get it. Bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Cups. Can I get one more for the seventh house and the Son of Pentacles? Why is this here? Ooh. Seventh house and the Son of Pentacles. And we have the Three of Wands. Yeah, like, Then we have the Moon card at the bottom. I don't even know how to say it. Like, yeah, because, okay, thank you, Spirit. Because the Three of Wands is a card of expectation. And with, like, if this person was someone that was just, like, very, like, almost Knight of Wandsy, like, so eager to have something, it's almost like they didn't have any expectations as long as they got what they wanted. But this is something that, is from what this reading, revealed, is like, this is something that you truly want. So it's almost like there needs to be a level of patience exercised. And it almost makes me want to say, like, not everyone is meant to be a mother. Not everyone is meant to be a father. And I'm saying that in a way, like whatever side you're resonating on, it's like for some of you it's not happening because the people that you're connecting yourselves with to have it, like, you don't feel anything for them. You're just feeling what you want out of the situation, but you don't feel anything for this person. So, like, not for nothing, imagine bringing a child into a world where you don't feel nothing for that other person. I wouldn't want to do that. Like, there's almost like hidden intentions or motives there with the moon. Yeah. And not for nothing, for some of you, I feel like you may have done that with someone that you, like, you don't feel anything for, and now it almost feels like, you know, possibly you could be stuck or wanting to, you know, like going, you know, just looking over it, like how you could have done it different. I don't know. But what I'm really feeling off of the Seven of Wands with the Queen of Pentacles at the bottom is like, take your time. You want, if you're a masculine energy, you need to, you know, do the work. Even though that ain't the Eight of Pentacles, it's the Seven. And, you know, plant that seed with someone who can show you their, you know, their sustaining, nurturing, motherly qualities. And also know that on the other end, you have to be, you can't be a Knight of Pentacles. You would have to be a King of Pentacles. Give me one more, and then that's it, because I gotta go. Can I get one more, please, Spirit? For the Seven of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, we have the Death card here. Yep. For some of you, if you're resonating as a masculine, whether male or female, doesn't matter. What I'm getting is for some of you, the relationship you've had with your mother or maternal figure is playing a part in this. To the point where like, I don't know, like, it almost feels like you want to prove to, like, if this is the case for you, this is not going to be for everybody. You want to prove to, you know, this mother or, you know, a potential maternal figure that you can do it. Like, almost trying to one up your parent. But that's not the reason to do it either. With the Five of Swords here, you need to detach from that. Almost like being the goal. Like, to show this parent, like, I can have a healthy relationship. I can be a good mom or dad or whatever the case may be. Don't let that be the driving force for you. But you already have the desire. It's just like, you just need to go about it in a different way. But as always, y'all, thank you all for tuning in with me. I definitely hope that, you know, this was, you know, or at least resonated for you. And if not, it just wasn't your story. I hope everyone, you know, enjoys this full moon energy and, you know, stays safe. If I didn't say it already, which I probably did, but I don't know. I thank you all for tuning in with me. And I will see y'all on the next one. All right? Later.